And welcome back to Lantern Corp video. So this one comes to us from Shellen Bagdasara, or Shellen B, and Luke Morehouse. And that is, what Lantern Corps does SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, belong in? Now, for those of you who are not aware what the SCP Foundation is a fan-made community world, basically, universe, that's very similar to X-Files. Basically, anomalies exist in this world. They can be individuals like the Plague Doctor. They can be items. They can be basically anomalies that you can't, like events that just occur randomly. Just supernatural, unexplainable phenomenon that occur. And the SCP, Secure, Contain, Protect Foundation, is designed to try to keep these anomalies at bay, contained, so they don't wreak more havoc on the world. There are well over, there are well over 7,000 or 8,000 of these things so far, because people just keep adding on to. You can just go on and make your own SCP. That's the thing, and people just keep adding more. There's lore, there's story, there's history, all that. The Plague Doctor is SCP-49. Now, the Plague Doctor is a humanoid individual wearing a Plague Doctor's mask. It generally is depicted. He can speak multiple languages, but generally prefers English or Old French. Generally speaking, SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, is a relatively calm and polite individual, and is willing to, have, civil conversations. However, when the Plague Doctor is in front of or confronted with anyone that is infected with what it calls the pestilence, he will go into a frenzy and try to murder that said individual, sometimes needing to be held back. SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, we'll just keep calling the Plague Doctor, has the ability to literally cease all life functions of anything it makes skin contact with. It can literally just be like, poke, you're dead. That's how it works. He can also reanimate the dead through horrifying surgeries. Granted, this doesn't always work, but it works a certain portion of the time. The Plague Doctor is one of the oldest SCPs. Like I said, there's over like 7,000 or 8,000 of these things at this point. Actually, give me a second. I can give you a rough number of how many of these things actually exist. So, in terms of the SCP, there's different series of SCPs, different lists, if you will. There's a grand total of, like, in the first run of the series, there's a grand total of like 5,999. But that's just the main series. There are SCP beyond this as well. If I remember correctly, where are the other SCPs? Series 6. One second. SCP. I know there are. I know there are more SCPs beyond 5,900. I just can't remember how to access them on the site. But I know they exist. Tales main lists of SCPs. Which one is it? Newly created pages. Hold on. One second. Is that? This is all dated, mind you. I know there's a page for like SCPs that go beyond just the 5,900 listing, and there, like I said, there's a lot of these things. There are a lot of, like, some of them are unique to the point where, like, some of them's like a pack of gum that does something. Another is like the one is like a Leviathan. One is that flesh that hates, which just melds flesh. It's really fun. But the question here is, this being a humanoid individual with a personality, what Lantern Corp do I think it belongs in? Well, given what we do know about it, because the actual personality is very limited what we know. It's polite most of the time, but it can go into a rage. So the question is, what exactly is this thing's Lantern Corp? Well, right off the bat, let's get the one I think is most likely, or least likely, out of the way. That's the Red Lantern Corps of Rage. Now, the Red Lantern Corps of Rage only works in certain instances for SCP-049. The Plague Doctor does go into fits of rage so he can, rid the pestilence from said individual. So you could make an argument that in certain instances, he can definitely qualify for a Red Lantern ring. But it's infrequent enough that it can't be considered the main option. An option, yes. The main option, no. So right from there, we got to go straight into Black Lantern Corps, because this is a individual that, as a plague doctor, kind of represents death in many ways, and can literally just kill something, ceases life functions immediately by touching it. So, I mean, when you have something that is literally capable of just killing something by touch, is the embodiment of a plague doctor. I mean, you've got to have death as a consideration, considering Corp. You just have to. The last one I think we should address, though, is the Lantern Corps of Fear. Yellow Lanterns. A lot of SCPs inspire fear, because a lot of SCPs are just horrifyingly powerful, destructive, dangerous, frightening as hell. Some specialize in causing fear, for God's sake. The Plague Doctor doesn't, but an individual who can kill you just by touching you, yeah, that's a scary individual. Now, granted, they obviously do have guards that keep him in place. So it's clear that while they are concerned, they usually have protocols in place to keep him in check. But it still raises the question of, is the SCP Foundation scared enough of him to make him qualify for the Fear Lantern Corps over the Black Lantern Corps? Because let's be clear, I think Rage is a possibility only in certain circumstances. It's not the predominant Lantern Corps he could qualify for. So, is it yellow or is it black? Is it death or is it fear? My money, frankly, is probably more on death. It seems to just be more the nature of the individual, that because he can just take life and resurrect the dead to some degree, it seems the more appropriate Lantern Corps. Add on to the fact that while fear is definitely a factor here, the fact is, like, the people who run the SCP Foundation, these people, these professors, these guards, all that, they deal with these things on a regular basis. That's not to say they don't feel fear. Sure, they have to deal with stuff that could kill them in a heartbeat, like this guy. But a lot of these guys are trained to at least handle this on some level. So that does mitigate the fear aspect to some degree. Whereas the death aspect is a constant. Death is a constant in this world. It is a constant in the universe. And I think the Plague Doctor, with its abilities, is a better representation of death than it is fear in this case. So my money's on the Black Lantern ring of death. What do you think? You think it would be the Black Lantern ring? You think it'd be the yellow? You think it'd be the red? Or is it any one of the other 6 that I didn't bring up? I could just briefly touch on it real quick if you'd like. He's a living individual, but life doesn't work simply on the grounds that he takes life. He's too well designed. He's too well equipped for taking life. And I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit if I could. Let's shrink. There we go. Get this more in frame. So, yeah, even though he can resurrect the dead, they're still dead. So, yeah, no. Hope? Hell no, he doesn't inspire hope in anyone. No one wants, I mean, he's pleasant to talk to from what we're told, but no, there's no way he inspires hope. Avarice? He wants to do his job of getting rid of the pestilence, but I don't know if I could call that greed. I think he feels it's a duty. Compassion, I don't know if he lacks it, because he seems to have, he seems to have like a warped version of compassion, where it's like, I must rid this person of pestilence by killing them. It is to save them. That's kind of what it is. So I don't know if I can consider compassion it's a warped version of it, so I don't know if I can consider Indigo, because he clearly has some form of it, but it's not a defining trait, nor is it truly compassion as we know it. Love, no. And will, I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of SCPs that could qualify for will, quite frankly. We just don't get a good idea of their personalities half the time to really factor that in. So, yeah. But that's my opinion. Maybe you think differently. Put it in the comments below if you do. And that's fine if you do. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want notifications. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.